Well, under the Batemans Bay Bridge on the northern side, once again I'm going to look at the stupidity of the placement of these bike racks, because someone has not thought about the use cases of where people actually want to park. And as I was riding down here, I noticed on the other side of that ute is where all the bikes are parked. So let's just ride over there and have a look. And why are these bikes here? Because this is where people want to fish. So they want to have their bikes as close to the fishing spot as possible. So this would be a better spot, given this use case, for bike parking. Now, there's quite a bit of literature out there about the concept of desire lines, but they're usually only thought about when you're talking about movement, walking or cycling from A to B. Desire lines aren't really thought about when it comes to parking your bike. Now, I've done a couple of videos on desire lines, and you can have a look at them if you like, or you can just Google desire lines to see what the heck they are. But I think this idea should be applied to where you place bike parking. Now, here's the Eurobodalla Shire Council car park and Dana Maria. You can see it's pretty full, but you can also see that it's right next door to the council chambers. And what I've done here is just outlined the car park there in yellow, and you can see, yeah, it's super duper convenient to walk from that car park into the chambers, and that's what people want, isn't it? I mean, you want to walk the shortest possible distance. What people are after is the car park essentially right next to the door of the place. Now, just consider what would happen if this car park didn't exist here. You know, we just wiped it off from the face of the earth, and council was saying, oh, you know, it'd be a good idea to build a car park for 40 or 50 cars. Where shall we put it? And they get a consultant, and the consultant says, oh, we're going to build it half a kilometre away on a bit of empty land over there. And everyone, you know, councillors and staff would look at the consultant like they had two heads. They'd go, you know, are you mad? You know, no one wants to park over there and walk this distance. Well, the same holds true with bikes. I mean, this might only be 20 metres away from where people want to park their bikes, but that 20 metres makes all the difference. So, you know, if anyone ever gets around to installing bike parking, you really need to consider where people actually want the parking, because, you know, that's where people will end up leaving their bikes. Now, look, that's a tricky concept to work out. Where do you put the bike parking? And the only way to do it may, in fact, be to just observe where people are sticking their bikes now, or go somewhere with your bike, like actually, you know, council buys some bikes and gets people to ride around if need be, and they go to a destination and go, oh, if I was riding here, where would I plonk my bike? Here. Okay, X marks the spot. Get out the line marking paint, put an X on the footpath or wherever and say, here be bike parking. This is where we're going to install it, rather than looking at Google Maps or something like that and saying, oh, you know, we'll put bike parking over here and people will use it. Well, I've got news for you. You put it in the wrong place, they won't. And that's a waste of taxpayers' money, and it's useless. And that's exactly what we do not need.